UK economy grew by 0.1% between July and September, short of the 0.2% forecast by economists. The quarter before, Q2, was a growth of 0.5%. Specifically, in the month of September, growth detracted by 0.1%. Let's go to our business and economics correspondent, Gurpreet Narwan. Gurpreet, clearly these numbers, as already expressed by the Chancellor, were disappointing, and particularly that month of September, they hope will be a one-off, a decline.
Yeah, some saying actually that uncertainty around the budget might have contributed to that damp performance in September. It's certainly what we got from the CBI this morning. But if you're thinking that those growth rates don't sound like much, that's because they're not. It's actually very similar to the poultry growth figures we've got used to reporting over the sort of past 10 years or so, even though we did get a boost in the first half of the year as the economy rebounded out of recession. And I think, Wilf, what this does is really underscore the challenges facing the Labour government. They've made it their chief ambition to turbocharge economic growth in the economy, but they're dealing with some pretty chronic issues that they're trying to fix. And the Chancellor will say today, be patient with me. These things will take time to pay dividends, particularly that plan to boost public investment. But in the meantime, all of the government's political ambitions, chiefly fixing public services, what the public really want, requires spending money that's really hard to find when you don't have economic growth in the country. And economists are warning that the Chancellor's efforts to plug that funding gap, chiefly that massive increase in business taxes that we saw in the budget, might actually be harming economic growth over the coming years by leading to job losses, lower incomes, as well as potentially higher inflation. We heard from the likes of Marks and Spencer's and Sainsbury's over the past few weeks, all warning that the increase in the national insurance contributions may have to be passed on to consumers in the form of higher prices. And inflation, of course, as we know, is bad news for living standards. And one thing that we got from the report today was that fall in GDP per capita, that's when you take all the GDP and divide it by the population, is shrinking once again. It fell by 0.1% after 2 quarters of recovery.
Gurpreet, great stuff. Thanks so much for that, Gurpreet Narwan, for us.